Hey, Chris Kimball. Today we're doing a very simple pasta with corn, shallots, and cherry tomatoes. This came from Al Forno restaurant in Providence, Rhode Island. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to throw together. Another one of my quick pasta favorites. So the first thing we're going to do is start with 4 shucked ears of corn. And we're going to grate the corn. This is not, as you can see, the ideal grater. I'm at my in-laws' house in Maine today. But we'll do the best we can. So we're gonna get the corn milk, the inside of the kernel, and we're also gonna use the cobs, believe it or not, to flavor the pasta water. Okay, there we are. So that's 4 ears of corn. That's the corn milk, the inside of the kernel. When this comes up to a boil, it's 2.5 quarts of water. I'm gonna add a little salt, add a whole tablespoon of kosher salt to it. And we're gonna cook the ears of corn, the 4 cobs, for 10 minutes covered, just in a simmer, discard them, and that's going to actually infuse the water with corn flavor, so when we cook the pasta, you get a little bit of extra flavor. Meanwhile, let's heat up a skillet with a couple tablespoons of butter, and we're gonna add the corn. And I have 1 chili. This is a Fresno chili, which is a little hotter than jalapeno. The recipe calls for habanero, which is a lot hotter than this, but I like mild heat, so I'll do that. This is a couple of medium shallots. A large shallot is probably 1/4 cup, so maybe this is a 1/3 cup total with 2. And a little bit of salt, maybe a teaspoon of salt as well. We're gonna cook this for a few minutes, 5 minutes, until we start to soften up the shallot and the chili. And then we're gonna add some pasta cooking water. So let me reserve some now before I forget, 1.5 cups or so. Yep, okay. Okay, so the shallots soften now, and I have 1.5 cups of the pasta cooking water, or the cob cooking water. And we're gonna cook this down for 10 or 15 minutes until you get a nice thick sauce. Okay, our sauce is good. Spatula through it. You can see a nice path there, but it's not too dry. You still want it to be very liquid because you want it to be a sauce. The pasta's done, I just checked it. We're gonna drain it. Not gonna rinse it, just drain it. Add it to the sauce. So we're just gonna cook this for a couple of minutes in a nice sauce that coats the pasta. If it looks a little dry, oh, this looks pretty good. I have some reserved pasta cooking water. Again, that's gonna have some starch in it, and you can add a little bit of that. Only add about 2 tablespoons at a time so you don't overdo it. Turn the heat up just a little here. Boy, that looks good. So the water we cooked the pasta in was flavored with the cobs. We also used that cooking water initially to make the sauce, so you get 2 uses out of it. One of the things we've learned being in Italy a number of times is to toss the sauce with the pasta quite a lot. That tends to coat the sauce, the pasta better, especially when you're doing, let's say, a cream sauce or a cheese sauce, or butter sauce, and we have butter in this. Okay, so let's drop the heat, get rid of it. Let's add 2 tablespoons of butter. Let's add, this is a pint of cherry tomatoes I'd halved a while ago and put about a teaspoon of salt on it. So we're not gonna drain it, we're gonna use that liquid as well. And this is where I think this dish gets really interesting. It has a little bit of butter, it has the corn, it has cherry tomatoes, pretty spectacular. So the last thing is we're gonna take some basil, do sort of a chiffonade here. And I wanna taste it just to make sure the salt and pepper's okay. Now, if you don't think that looks good, wow. Basil, tomato, pasta, butter, corn, shallot, I think this is my top 3 pasta dishes of all time. Once again, it's lightly creamy, but there's no cream in it. A really easy dish to make and great when you have summer corn. That's it from Milk Street at Home. Enjoy.